Light, it permeates our universe. It's a key component of the electromagnetic spectrum. It's also the key ingredient to magic. Stay tuned, that's coming right up here on Drew's Book Reviews. Good day, and welcome to another episode of Drew's Book Reviews. Today, we are going to be talking about Brent Weeks' Lightbringer series that I've just recently completed reading. So this series comprises all of these awesome books. So of course we got The Black Prism, The Blinding Knife, The Broken Eye, The Blood Mirror, and The Burning White. So these are the five main books in the Lightbringer series. As I understand, there are some kind of novellas and shorter books within the overall Lightbringer universe, but these are the five main works in the Lightbringer series. Before we get into that, make sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and you like this type of content. I put out videos every single Friday. You could follow me on my Discord. You could also follow me over on Bookstagram. I'll have that linked below. So let's talk about Lightbringer by Brent Weeks. This is a phenomenal series. So I have reread the first four books and finally finished up my first time read through book 5, The Burning White. So this book series as a whole is just fantastic. This will be a full series review as opposed to individual books. So the second time around in this series, what it is actually read along with the graphic audio. Now the graphic audio adaptation on Audible is just fantastic. The actors and the narrator that they had for this, and I'll be honest, I didn't even pay attention to the names. I was just focused on reading along with the narrators and actors in the story, and they brought so much light to each individual character. I love that full cast graphic audio adaptation to this book series, and I think it did a fantastic job bringing to life this story and all the characters and the nuance and everything that was a part of this great world adventure that is the Lightbringer series. One of the things I absolutely loved about the Lightbringer series was the concept of using the light spectrum itself as a piece of magic, or as the magical basis of this world. So light magic, where these drafters who are different can draft different parts of the light spectrum in different colors. They use that to kind of create solid material called Luxin, which has different elements and aspects to it. Blue, for example, is for the rational mind. Red is for fury and strong emotions. Green is kind of like the warrior color, where those who draft green can kind of lose control and go golem, as it's put in the story overall. So these different aspects of the light are used as the magical basis for this world, which I thought was a really cool concept for a magic system. Now, part of that, there is one particular character. Now, in this world, the world is split into 7 satrapies, and there are 7 colors, and the religious organization or the church of this world is referred to as the Chromaria. So everything is based around color and the concept of color and the different spectrums. And those are the head of the Chromaria are each represented by a different color. You've got the white, you've got the red, you've got the green, you've got the blue, you've got the yellow. So you got all these different colors on the Chromaria governing board or top of the head of the church type of idea, and they are in control of the world. They represent the 7 satrapies. Each satrapy is represented by a different color and designated different color, and each one bringing something different to the mix, essentially. So that's a really interesting setup with this religious setup that is detailed within this world throughout the 5 books of this series. And the head of this religious order is referred to as the prism. He can split light, just as a prism splits light into its different spectrum. So this is a really cool aspect of how this is set up. The prism is the prophet. Now, our main lead character, that is Gavin Guile. He is the prism within this story. He is the head of the church. He is effectively the emperor, and he rules everything. However, he himself seems to be struggling with the faith in the Chromaria and the god of this world, referred to as Orholam. And he is struggling with his faith in that. So everything comes down essentially to a confrontation with the religion in Orholam and the apostate pagans versus the religious Chromaria type people within this book. And overall, there's just a fantastic setup to this world. The church and the religion and the magic and everything about it I absolutely loved about this series and how all that flows together. one of the aspects I really liked about this as well is this concept of being entrapped by our roles and not being able to break free. And one of the characters in this book, and I'm not going to say who, this might be a light spoiler, so just be warned on that. Maybe a light spoiler here, but I don't think it's really too bad of a spoiler at all, to be honest. But essentially, one of the characters, and I'll not say who, because that will probably spoil it, but anyway, he finds himself trapped in this prison, and each prison there's like 7 different cells, and each prison is a prison of a different color that he has to work his way and break through. Meanwhile, another character is slowly losing his ability to draft different colors. So within this world, there's the polychrome and the single bichrome, and then there's solo chromes, essentially, so people can draft 1 color, 2 colors, or multiple colors, and be able to use the different aspects of the magic system within that. Now, what's really interesting is as one character breaks out of one of these color prisms, the other character is losing the corresponding color. And I'll just leave it at that, because I don't want to get into too many specifics or details about who these characters are, but I thought the dynamic there was really interesting, in that it's kind of almost symbolic that they're breaking out of this entrapment from 2 different perspectives in 2 different ways, being trapped by religious belief and the magic system, and then being literally confined within a prison itself and working desperately to escape that. And I just thought that was a really interesting dynamic and split between these 2 types of entrapment within this book series as a whole. That was just awesome. Really enjoyed that. Some of the other aspects I really enjoyed about this book is one of the other characters that we have within this book, Andros Ghale. He is a very interesting character in that at this point I'm still undecided if he's really a good guy or a bad guy. And throughout this book, as we see the interactions he has with other characters throughout this series, you hate him, but at the same time you kind of have you kind of respect him as far as understanding him and what he's meaning to achieve, why he's doing the things that he's doing. And it kind of turns into this love-hate dynamic. Like, I don't know if Andros Ghale here is a good guy or a bad guy. I still haven't figured that out. When you could write a character like that, I think that is absolutely fantastically done, and that you just don't know. And that, to me, is a hallmark of good writing. And the other characters, like Gavin Ghale as well, who you're just torn. You don't know what's going to happen, how he's going to turn out in the end. You could see the struggle and everything that he's been through throughout this book series, and from the start to the finish, where he came from, how he got to where he is now, and where he's going, and the trials and the struggles that he had to deal with. And at the end, you come to realize just who he really is, and he has to accept himself for who he is as well, which I think is just fantastic character development throughout this entire story, and I loved every aspect of that. And everything about this book, those 2 main characters are some of the best written characters in this series. I honestly believe that. And overall, this series has just been really, really good and an enjoyable read. Now, I have heard it said from other people who have reviewed these books that Brent Reeks really failed to stick the landing at the end. He didn't do a very good job wrapping it up, and that a lot of people felt that this series just did not end well for how well the previous books were written. And for myself, I wouldn't say that it was an absolutely phenomenally awesome end to it, but I don't think it was bad either. I thought it kind of helped wrap some things up and kind of wound down the story from that intensity right at the very end of the story and the epic battle that comes at the end of the story. And I think that it wound down well from that, as we kind of see how our characters are moving on with their lives after the ordeal that they've put themselves through. And I think it had a decent ending. It left it wide open for more stories, and I really hope that Brent Weeks writes more in the Lightbringer world, because I really want to know more. There's some things at the end where it kind of left it open to knowing more, and I want more as a result of that. And I think that that's a good thing as well, and hopefully with the way this story ended, that means that there will be more in the Lightbringer world. That is what I'm absolutely hoping and really wanting to see. One other aspect that I really enjoyed about the magic system in this book is the concept of this idea of wights. So part of the magic system is people that draft. This shortens their lifespan, and it can really be a impactful shortening of the lifespan. The more you draft, the quicker you will proceed to death, to the point where they refer to it as breaking your halos. So what this effectively means is you have gone white, which means you've used so much magic that you've gone insane. Now, part of the religious doctrine of this world is that the whites, those who have broken the halo, must die. And they have this ritual that they call the freeing, where these people who have broken the halo or are about to break the halo are essentially killed in ritualistic murder. And this is an aspect of the story. This is part of that tradition within this chromatic religious base system that's been set up that causes a lot of division in this world, as there is a group of people who are basically rejecting the whole concept, the legitimacy of the whole Chromeria and the religion that's been set up around this system. And that is what ultimately leads to the conflict within this book. You got the whites who don't want to die, essentially, who have gone crazy, and those who are subjecting themselves to the ritualistic freeing of the Chromeria. So this is a big aspect of what causes the division and split in this world to begin with. And just everything about this book was so well done. This series was so well done, and it is probably one of my favorite fantasy series that I have read out there. So, I will say, just to wrap things up, if you like this, if you think this sounds interesting, then definitely I recommend you go and pick up this book series and read it. Let me know what you thought. Tell me what you thought down in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Or you could join me over on my Discord. We could talk about it over there. That'll be linked below as well. Or follow me on Bookstagram. You could reach me there as well, and I'd love to hear from you. But overall, fantastic series. Brent Weeks, Lightbringer. Highly recommend. I certainly enjoyed it. And who knows, maybe I'll reread the whole series again at some point down the road. And, as always, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, keep on reading. Bye!